2, 3, 4.
Hey, welcome back everybody. This is Andrew with HM5, and we're going to be doing a little bit different of a video today. Back in the day, I was a pretty avid PC gamer. Now, compared to the current time, I'm a lot more of a console gamer, but hey, either way, both are great. And when I was a young lad in the late 90s, early 2000s, going through puberty, just wanting the game in general, I really didn't care what I was playing on. But it got me reminiscing back about the games I did play on PC. So today's video is going to be my top 5 greatest video games on PC when I was growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now, these could go in any order really, and I'm not going to say I have a most favorite and a least favorite out of the 5, but all of them had something that kind of really resonated with me as I was growing up and kind of put me on the path to the types of games I like to play now. So without further ado, the first game I'm going to bring up is good old original Warcraft. Now, that was one of the first real-time strategy games I've ever played, and I would sit and play that for hours, and I'm sure my parents absolutely hated that, but that really opened up kind of the fantasy medieval genre to me, and I absolutely loved playing through all the missions on that and just building up an army and going and conquering humans if I was playing orcs or vice versa. But that game really opened me up to all the others I would proceed to play afterwards with the second Warcraft, and eventually trying out World of Warcraft, which I didn't stick with for too long, but I did enjoy playing it. I played that as a very social game with some of my friends. I'd bring my laptop over to their place and just hang out and play WoW. But anyways, that's different. But original Warcraft was great, and I loved the pamphlet, the giant pamphlet books you would get in the box with the game. You could flip through and read, and it would describe everything about the world and the characters, and it was awesome. But that actually leads me into another game by the same company that I love playing, but Starcraft. That game was one of the first online games I played, and another game I would play for hours. And my parents probably also hated it because during that time I had dial-up internet. And anyone that knows dial-up internet, once you're connected, you can't have someone come on, pick up the phone, and start making an outbound call or an incoming call, because it's going to ruin your connection. So you'd have to plan everything out and then go and get online and play against someone, and they'd either rush you with Zerg, and that would be really frustrating. But either way, that game was amazing. I would love to just sit there and build up my defenses and go out there and take a ghost and nuke somebody's place with that character, or play Protoss. You'd get a bunch of zealots and other things and just go attack somebody. But I absolutely loved the sci-fi aspect and the real-time strategy of that game too. It's just, ugh. But anyways, now jumping into a little bit different kinds, still real-time strategy, but the third game I really enjoyed playing when I was growing up, Stronghold Crusader. And that game was awesome because, again, you could build up a fortress and you'd play through like these different campaigns and scenarios that the game wanted you to do. And you'd have to like build somebody of X amount of these things, or go attack this guy and defeat them and such time, or just different little kind of scenarios they put you in that they want to see you achieve. That game you could make as big of as an army as you wanted. So I would just like build up my keep and everything you need to make your guys. And then instead of making walls, I found it was a lot easier and faster sometimes to just put some watchtowers, spread them all over your little map area, and then just make these winding trenches or moats that all the enemy guys would have to like walk through, zigzagging back and forth, and pretty much my towers would just shoot at them the whole time as they're trying to get to my keep to destroy it, but it takes so long and they'd have to go through so much bullshit. I would kill them. But I also would make just these massive armies of like mace men or something. It'd be like 500 of them just running across the screen, and it'd be hilarious because you'd actually have like, if you're looking at a computer monitor, it was just a brick of these mace men running, and it actually was so bad sometimes that my computer couldn't handle it, and it just kind of like glitched slowly as they ran across until they started dying, and it'd slowly get a little quicker. But oh my gosh, I absolutely loved the Stronghold Crusader games, and I know they still make those, but I have actually haven't played one in years, so I'm not sure what they're like nowadays. I'm sure they're great, but growing up, that was one of my favorite things to do. Moving on to the next one, another game that kind of funneled me into an RPG aspect and really loving being one character and leveling them up and collecting things and treasures is Diablo. And that game, I would just get lost jumping into dungeons and just completing the quests and going back and getting new gear and just discovering things and completing the like missions and until you complete the storyline. The storylines were great, and of course, who can forget Decker Kane? He's such a great character, and he has such an awesome voice that you can never forget. And Adam does a really great impression of him, which, if you've watched our stuff enough, you've probably heard it before when he narrates things. But Diablo and Diablo 2 was also really great. And actually, being in high school, I remember a friend of mine giving me a disc with all the best gear on it and be like, hey, just take this home and install it in your computer, and you'll just start out with the best stuff. And of course, I've already played the game and beat it by this point, but you're kind of just like, I could play it again as the greatest character starting right off the bat. The game has come such a long ways, but I mean, starting out back in the late 90s, that was such a fantastic and revolutionary game to play, and I just loved it. The last game would be Total War. Now, there's been many, many renditions of that, and again, it's very much a real-time strategy kind of game, but it was a lot more strategic because you had to conquer territories and you have to reinforce those territories as you conquer them with so many troops, and then you have to collect grain and manage your economy. It was really in depth, and I loved playing it because if you couldn't tell already, I love building up forces and I love taking over things and defending my territories. But the actual combat warfare style of it was amazing because you'd have these like regiments and cavalry, and you could like set them up and do different like actual strategies on the battlefield. And it'd be interesting to see like if you tried this one thing, if it worked better than this other, or maybe it'd fail, and then you want to try something over again, so you'd redo your troops and see if maybe like attacking them this other way with more archers or more cavalry. Or it was really awesome. That game was so good. I would have to say those are definitely the top games that really kind of or defined who I am now. And I would love to hear what you guys grew up playing, and if you're as old as I am, if you played a lot of the same games I did. But nonetheless, what did you get into first that really kind of put you on the path to the type of gamer you are now? And what did you prefer more? Did you like playing PC over console? So let me know in the comments below, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. See ya!